Right, just have a quick chat about this big one. I think it's about 9 foot by 7, probably. Uh, on a fantastic bit of board. It was all scenery that was used in the recently up in the BBC's. So well done for that for that, and it was brought down. So that was really nice to have actually. So I've still got plenty of wood, still going through it, right? But here we are. This is one example of what's been done on it. Um, so I mean, I have been working on it quite a while, as you can see. It is quite, you know, worked on. I can't remember what the first picture was. I'd have to really go back. But I can remember, but I know what the last picture was, and it's this. And you, the thing is that look at that red there coming all the way down. It's quite nice, isn't it? Pooled on the floor, look. There's a lot of red I used in that, wasn't it? Okay, so I really think now with that red coming down really like that, I'm quite happy. I could put a few more stars at the top, bring the top part of the picture in a bit, maybe one or two. But it's really coming to the end of things. Oh, how do you know it's the end, right? So this is the whole thing. So you're working away, and it's just like you're really painting over everything you've done the night before. And there's few tests you do, and it's like, how do you feel about it work the next day when you come in? And if it fills you with a lovely feeling of what you had the night before, or dread when you think, oh God, what was I thinking? Then, that's another way to look at a piece of work. But with this one, I am really beginning to think, because it still needs to be finished with a coat or varnish, and that will really make the colour pop then, and it'll come out really well. And so so what you see now, so that's another strange thing, is that when you're painting, you're always painting of what it will look like, not what it looks like. So you're always painting something. Something's always happening to it. Even when you think it's finished, then you've got to apply the varnish, and then that'll create another depth to it. But I'm really, it's a way of like not wanting it to be too graphic-y. And then, so you've got this great areas here, which shows you, that you're giving it actual reality, and it's not really comic-y booky. Um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with comic booky, but I mean, when somebody points that out to you, it's very graphic. You start thinking, yeah, it is actually, isn't it? Why am I doing that then? So you try and get back then to be how expressive you are. And there's a few which I still look at, and they were bought, and they're up in Cardiff. And I think it was called Ecstasy. And it's probably like not Jeff Koons, um, you know, de Kooning. And when you look at de Kooning's work, you really do think, well, there's a person who enjoyed painting or argued with painting, but nevertheless, he got stuck in. And sometimes you've got to remind yourself to get stuck in, because it's quite easy to fall into that trap of just doing things which you've done before. So when I'd use, so a lot of the time, like that, under that would have been, would have been fine, under that. But there's a little voice in my head that goes, "Yeah, fine isn't good enough, Neil. You've got to do better than fine. You've got to do excellent." And so that's what you're trying to do with every picture. Try and make it the best picture you've ever, or people have ever seen. And they want to come back and they want to see it more. And otherwise, I got my next little project. Right, see, look over here now. Right, we got this going on. Uh, um, there's another artist down here who give me the bonnet of a car, which is great to work on. But if anybody knows anybody got a window, a car door that needs painting on, which is light. I don't work with heavy anymore. I can't be bothered. No, not my state. Right. So if it's light, that's great. But then, so that's interesting to see. How that's developing. Again, old bit of work, revamped. And I like the fact that it's got that head on the top there. It's telling me like, yeah, it's very much like a totem pole, isn't it? You know, one of those Indian totem poles. But it just reminds me of, yeah, I don't care. I really don't care what you think. And I just, to get a picture that looks like that is that, ironically, you've got to care what what it looks like. You're trying to paint something which gives the impression that you don't care, but it's really been, well thought out and well battled over. And I've used that term before, battling. It's like a gladiator, it's like a gladiator going into the ring. You are fighting against something which is fighting back. And so it's, that type of thing is fun. At the end of the day, it's only paint. And a throwaway mark like that is quite good, because I think too many people are precious about their work, and whether they're explained in college that you've got to be able to paint over exactly what everything you've done, and once you're able to do that, then you're able to move on. If you're going to keep on, that's just one step in being an artist. I think you've just got to be able to paint over what you've done, and then once you're able to do that, it frees you up, and everything is up for grabs then, because you're not going to be too you're going to be too precious about things. Right, I got a piece on the floor there. That's a commission piece. This, well, I felt like I just wanted to do a face in it, but then I think, oh, maybe too many faces are going on, too many heads. But I like this head, and I like. Maybe, and somebody said once to me, they said, "Well, this is what your style is, Owls. This is a head, a bit like Easter Island, or some of the. It's very sort of see heads, faces, and they're not all the same. Just like every human being isn't the same. We've all got nose and eyes, and some of us even got teeth, but every face is different, although the characteristics are the same. It's surprising, really, isn't it? We don't all look the same. So, and that's what you're trying to do here, really, in a way. The faces must be believable. Like, I believe in that. I really do believe it. That is a person to me. That's not a person. So that'll be worked on. That's half a person. So that's it. You're experimenting all the way through, trying to get things. But it's not up to me to really talk about the heads too much. Maybe somebody in the future can explain it to me. I got my own theories. I think it's like a DNA thing. That it's like a calling. Maybe Richard Dreyfuss had the Devil's Tower in Close Encounters. It's there in the brain. Works ain't finished unless they put in, and it brings works. There's something going on. Ironically, I never used to draw people in my landscapes years ago. I used to draw cityscapes, and it'd be void of people. I didn't want people in. I was just interested in the buildings, and that was So hopefully somebody one day will take a look at the pictures, and maybe they can come up with answers. But I think it's just a DNA thing. It's like it's just characteristics that are in our brain to do these things. Right. A spread on that. Quick look around the studio, quick pictures. That was great news. The piece went up to MoMA in fact, yeah, I'll talk about that separately, but I'll just briefly do it here. That piece went up to MoMA. That was really good news. So Ruth Lambert up there, I think she told me she's in her 90s and she's just recently retired from MoMA, as a leading curator, or not curator, art director. So gallery director. So yeah. So I don't think you ever retire. I think she'll always have something. And then of course you've got Pete Telfer up that way as well. So he's got a show up. So I'd like to see that. That's going to be quite good. I think a lot of his older work. He's documented all the artists that have come through Wales. So let's face it, he's probably championed more artists than any gallery has in Wales. He's just incredible. And I don't know if he's had any thanks. He should have an award of some sort. Just like Ruth should have had an award. I mean, 92 and keeping that gallery going into Monclech. And I'd like